Welcome back to the Ultra Tech channel, everyone. Jesse here. I have been using a personal NAS or network attached storage, and let me tell you why it makes a huge difference in my life in a positive way and how it can do the same for you. On today's video, I would like to show you why you would need one and what I personally use one for. These topics will include having your own private cloud, using it as a server, setting it up for Plex to watch movies, and having a central location for all your home users to scan documents to from a network printer. After this video, you won't be afraid of investing in a NAS since they can seem overwhelming. And I'll show you which unit you should pick, which hard drives to choose, and how to configure the RAID setup. Let's get started. NAS is short for Network Attached Storage and is basically a computer or server that has the main purpose of being able to offer increased storage. Normally, most computers just have one hard drive, and if that drive dies, well, you just have to buy another drive and get it going that way. A NAS, on the other hand, at a minimum will offer two bays for installation of two hard drives, where you can set it up as a RAID 1 or mirror mode. This means you can have one drive go bad and your data can still be available while you get a replacement drive. You can also buy a bigger NAS with more bays, and that would increase the level of protection, as you can increase RAID levels if one or two drives go bad. Your data is still available. Having a NAS means you can basically have your own private cloud. This means you can store your important documents, scans, movies, pictures, or any projects that need to be stored. You can also share this with your family so everyone can get a folder to save their data to. Best of all, it's all stored on your local network and not vulnerable to being compromised since it's not on the public cloud. The NAS itself is a server and has many server features such as being a file server, movie server, web hosting, and more. Depending on which model you choose, a NAS like Synology or Qnap will offer applications you can run inside their operating systems. For example, a cool feature with my Synology is that I can start virtual machines. Sometimes I will fire one up that has Windows Server installed and lab it out before doing a project on my real work environment. To access this feature, you would simply go to the Application Center, Virtual Machine Manager, point an ISO of your desired operating system, and just fire it up. My favorite feature of having a NAS is being able to run Plex. Plex is a media server service that lets you organize all your videos, audio, and photos and makes it accessible from any device such as a Fire Stick, NVIDIA Shield, Apple TV, etc. These videos can include movies, TV shows, workout videos, and your own personal family videos. You can convert your physical Blu-ray collection and add it to your Plex server so you don't have to keep accessing the physical media. This may sound kind of silly, but one of my favorite features is being able to scan important documents directly to my NAS. Before this, I would scan to my computer using a USB, and it would only be available on one PC, which was usually my wife's. So if I wanted to scan, I would have to fire up her computer and grab the documents that way, and that was not fun to do. Now, since we have our printer on the network, we simply scan. You choose your destination of your NAS, and like magic, our files are scanned to our NAS where the whole family can access. It literally takes a couple of seconds and I can move on with my day. These were my favorite things that I use a NAS for, but there are other things you can do, such as running business apps, ERP, CRM, HRM, etc. You can even deploy your own online office suite, host a chatting messaging system, run an email server, host websites, plus more. So there will be something you can enjoy. There are a great amount of options for getting a NAS. Two of the biggest names as far as brand goes is Synology and Qnap. I personally chose a Synology DS1019 Plus because it brings 5 bays, 8 gigs of RAM, but can be upgraded up to 16 gigs, an Intel quad-core CPU, and it can easily transcode 4K movies for Plex, and also runs the Plex service, and it doesn't have any issues. If you have the cash to spend, I recommend the Qnap TVS 672XT, which brings 6 bays, 8 gigs of RAM, an Intel Core i3 CPU, and this will eat up any 4K content and give you a good amount of bays to throw up to 108 terabytes if you load it with 6 18 terabyte drives. The price of this configuration will run you around $1,700 or $2,200 if you choose the 8 bay with an i5 CPU. For a mid-level NAS, which will give you a good balance of power and storage, would be the Synology 920 Plus, which brings 4 bays, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 4-core Intel CPU. As of December 2021, the NAS is around $550 on Amazon. This NAS will give you plenty of power to watch 4K video and gives you a good amount of bays for potential 64 terabytes of storage. If you just want to get started and are on a budget, you can get the Synology DS220 Plus for around $299, which will let you have 2 drives, 2 bays, 2 gigs of RAM, and an Intel dual-core CPU processor. It will also be able to handle Plex and 4K. Match it up with 2 big drives and you can do a lot with this unit. Another affordable option is the TerraMaster F2 221, which also brings an Intel Celeron CPU and can also play 4K with H.265 support. I'll leave links in the description if you're interested. Also, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this video. Now, you may have picked a winner for your NAS, but you may be confused on the storage configuration and which hard drives to choose. Don't worry, I'll show you some of the basics on this. To make this easier to visualize, let's go to the Synology website, RAID configuration site. For example, let's say we're getting 2 10 terabyte drives. As we can see, we can do a RAID 1 configuration or Synology's SHR with 10 terabytes of usable space. Remember, it will use the mirror protection where one drive is being mirrored, and if you lose one, you can replace it and not lose your data. If we're going for a configuration with 4 bays, we can add 2 more 10 terabyte drives to our configuration, and we can set it up as a RAID 5 or Synology's SHR, which are very similar, where you can lose one drive and you'll still be protected while you get a replacement. If you do lose 2 or more drives, you will have total data loss, so it's always a good idea to have backups if you have crucial data. With this configuration, we can get 40 terabytes of data and 30 terabytes of usable data. Finally, if we go for the 8 bay NAS, we can see we can have up to 70 terabytes of storage. If you have enough bays and want extra protection, you set up RAID 6 where it will give you less usable storage, but you can lose up to 2 hard drives and your data is still available. It will depend on you and how much you're willing to risk. Even with a RAID 6, I always recommend you have a backup of your crucial data, such as to the cloud, Google Drive, or to another NAS, or onto another computer. Feel free to play around with the sizes, and we can change from the 10 terabytes ones and choose 16 terabyte drives. And as you can see, if we choose the bigger drives, we can get a huge amount of storage. The downside, of course, will be the pricing, as these drives can get expensive real fast. When choosing a drive, make sure to choose a drive that is designed to be for a NAS, as these are designed to be more resilient and are meant to be run 24/7 and come with warranty. Some of this warranty from the manufacturer can go up to 5 years. If you use a drive that is meant for a computer or for an external USB, it will run, but most likely will be noisy and there will be no warranty, so there's bigger chances it will die a lot faster. Also pay attention to what kind of hard drive connection your NAS requires. Most likely it will use SATA 3.5 inches, but double check with the NAS that you get just to make sure. I hope this video has helped you understand how a NAS works and how convenient it is to own one. I currently have 16 terabytes of usable space, but I plan on upgrading to bigger drives where I can get 60 to 70 terabytes. If you have the money, definitely go for more power and more bays with bigger hard drives. But if you're in a budget, you can do everything that the bigger NASs can do, but you'll just have a little bit of less storage. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if this video has helped you out. Until next time.